Well, I was going to come up here and make a video. Um, and when I got up here, hell, I can't make sure. The gate over there was laying on the ground, still latched. All the donkeys were out in that tall grass. That grass is waist high on me, and it's as rich as it'll ever be right now today. It's in full bloom, falling. The very earliest of it's already starting to set seed. That grass will never have any more energy in it than it has today. And that's all it takes to cripple Abe. That's what inflames his hooves, damages him, causes him a great deal of pain. He was looking just great this morning, just great. And I won't know now for 2 days. I don't know how long they were out. It takes it about 2 days to fully settle in. So if he can't walk day after tomorrow, they were out a while. And for him, it doesn't have to be very long. The girls, they can eat a fair amount of green grass because they've never been found or dead. You know, they could eat a couple hours worth in any day. Came up here and got a halter and lead rope. Abe's. I went out and I got him. I knew he'd stand for me. Then I came up and I got kitties. And Kitty and Clara, Kitty lived real wild for the early years of her life. She was born from a Bureau of Land Management Jenny, which is to say her mother was born wild. And they lived out in a great big pasture and a big farm. Nobody bothered them. When Sydney got Kitty, Claire hadn't been born yet. When Sydney got Kitty, I think it took her most of the day to walk her down, and that's all you can do with a donkey that's out in the pasture. You know, they're too smart to fool you. You can't force them. So all you can do is walk patiently behind them, talk to them, and try to persuade them to accept, the deal that you're offering them. And so Abe's been, he's been with me all his life, and he was out in the pasture like that wild for a long time. That's how he got founded. And he was mine, but I wasn't doing anything with him. People say, well, we got this guard donkey. And guard donkey means I got a donkey that lives out in the pasture, and I don't do jack shit with it. That's how you get donkeys with 2.5 foot long feet. And that's how you get donkeys with founder. Abe's been both. Sydney saved his life. So if I sound like I'm bad mouthing anybody, I'm bad mouthing myself. I did that, Dave. They're not wild animals. They're not born to live wild out by themselves. They're domesticated animals. They've evolved over the course of some 6,000 to 10,000 years. They're genetically significantly different than their wild ancestors who still exist. And they are evolved to need our assistance and to work for us. But they need our assistance to live. These animals need to be looked after by people. They're no longer wild animals. They're our responsibility. And so, I ask these animals to work, but it's a two-way street. I also have responsibility for them. So anyway, Abe came in. I've got some pictures. I'm going to try to hook some videos together and make it so you can see the whole deal, and kind of not all of it, but sequences. But we've got a serious hitching post up there that's the draft horse can't break. And I rarely use it. I tie them up down here to this little springy stuff, and they don't pull hard. They don't try. hard enough to break it. But Clara, she's pretty sure she could if she wanted to. So anyway, so I brought Abe in and I tied him up to the big hitching post, and then I got Kitty's halter and I went back out. And we took a pretty good tour. Fortunately, I've got a walk lane or donkey driving lane mowed across this pasture over here, which we call the winter pasture. It's where Patches spends her winters. And in summer, it's a hayfield. And I've got lanes mowed around there because there's some concrete pads out there, and I've got some machinery that I use out there, so I've got to be able to go back and forth. So she was a lady, and she stayed in the lanes. She didn't make me wade in the tall grass. You know, it's been mowed fairly recently. It's about ankle high. And she went all the way up to the concrete pads where the machinery is, and that's only about half the whole farm. She could have gone twice that far. But it's not mowed up there. And so she chose to, the lane I've got mowed is a circuit, so she chose to take the other circuit, head back this way. I'm walking along behind her, you know, talking to her, asking her. Make sure you've got the halter where they can see it, and where they know that you're showing it to them, because donkeys don't like to be snuck. You know, donkeys are absolutely honest, and they don't want you to try to fool them. So I'm holding her halter out, and when she slows way down, I open it with both hands like it would go on her nose, and I invite her to stop and let me come over there and put it on her. She started out running. She ran most of the way up to the concrete, but not all at once. She'd go zip, eat some, zip, eat some, zip. And Clara's right with her. I mean, it's like they're, you know, if they'd have been tied together with an 18-inch long rope, they wouldn't have noticed it. They'd have been slack, you know. So they're running up the path. Abe's up here tied up, and so we made it all the way around up to the concrete, which is in the middle of the farm, and back down around. And the gate was still laying on the ground. I hadn't fixed it, so it was open. They got out, they can get in. And they slowed way down as they got down here, and I had some hope that we might be going to go with that, but as it turned out, it didn't come out at all like I expected. So they slowly went by, and the lane curves back around and picks up. That's where this end of the circuit goes, and they went around the curve, and they went up about, I don't know, 12, 15 feet back the other way, and they stopped as they had been. By this time they were walking, they weren't running anymore. So, you know, they can walk as fast as I can, and I'm old. And if you try to rush, you know, if you run or something, I mean, that's just going to annoy them. So, you know, I'm just walking along talking to them. I mean, it's like I'm talking to you. And so they went around the corner, and then Clara turned around, and she came back around the corner, and she came back over to this side of the lane, and she stopped about 6 or 8 feet away from me. 10 minutes, I don't know. And I get Kitty's halter, and Clara's head's noticeably smaller than Kitty's, and Kitty's halter's too big for her, so this ain't gonna fly, you know. But donkeys, you can loop a rope around their neck. You really can't force one. I mean, you can't ever force one. If they decide to run away, they're running away. I don't care who you are, you're not strong enough to hold them. And so, you know, the whole deal is, you know, they gotta buy this deal. It's entirely voluntary for them. There's no day when you can ever force them to do anything. But you have to apply a little pressure. It's not the same as force, you know. But I loop the rope around her neck, and I hold it. I didn't even tie it on. I'm just holding these two pieces, and I pull. And I pull gently, and I talk to her, and we came around, and we came in here. We got over there in the mud yard, and I just you can drop the halter and take the snap on a lead rope and hook it around the rope I make like a leash, uh, and donkeys lead by the neck pretty easy. You know, you see in the third world, you see a lot of people lead them by the neck. And I mean, this is like I said, you're not strangling them. You're not strong enough to make them do anything. They just let you lead them around. It's like a dog with a collar around his neck. And so uh, I did that. I dropped her halter and I snapped it, and I took her up there, brought her over here, and I got her halter. Took her up there and kind of semi-tied her up and swapped around and got her halter on her and her neck collar off because I needed that for kitty. Went back out, take a look, and we're going to go out here and try to catch kitty. And she still wasn't really that committed to it. And we made one circle of it, and down here and around, and headed back up. And there's a place in there where it's not mowed, but it's kind of been walked through. Patches walks through it to get to that's the only water up there. And you can't see what I'm pointing at, but it's right there in the corner, and it shares between this yacht lot and that one over there, and Patches gets her water there too. So there's a walk-through spot that I haven't mowed. So Kitty goes around and she decides to come back this walk-through spot. Well, she'd come down and stomped before she got to the gate anyway. So I'm walking around, and she's standing there by the gate eating green grass. She's about, I don't know, 2 or 3 donkey lengths shy of being where the gate is. So I walk up behind her, and I'm hoping maybe this would be the time, And I held out the halter to her, and so she went on around the corner and said, "No, I'm out of here." So we came back around again, the same shorter path. And she got down here, and as she came across the walkthrough, I gave her the verbal command to turn right. I'm not going to use those commands now because they're behind me, they're eating, and I don't want to confuse them. But and just softly, like I'm talking to you. We don't shout commands to donkeys. We just talk to them. And or to turn left. And she did so. Well, she probably was going to anyway, but still, she did so. And she stopped, and I gave her the command to walk forward, and she did that. And we got down here to where the gate is, and I gave her the command to turn that direction, and she did that. And I walked a little bit towards her with the halter, but by this time I really knew I wasn't going to halter her. She stopped, and I gave her the command to go forward. And I put my hand on her behind, and I pushed just a little. I could push you that hard, you wouldn't even lose your balance, not even if you hold. Just a little push on her behind. And she walked over there and stood at that hitching post beside her daughter. And I walked up there, held out her halter open. She stood, kind of went like this away. I reached it out. She didn't move anymore. She stood there, just slightly leaned away. I put the halter on her and tied her up. I came in and got everybody treats. Now, you got to understand that when we were tied up to hitching post, the last thing we did was come back. It is not the case that the last thing we did was push the gate down and go out. That was the thing before that. The last thing we did was come back. And each of us came back in a gracious way. They're 3 separate individuals, and they did it in 3 separate gracious ways. Anyone who doubts the personhood of any domesticated animal, large or small, or any other wild animal, hasn't been around them much, or has some sort of a anthropocentric view of everything. But these are as much people as I am. They're different people. They're not the same kind of people. They're donkey people. But they have complete personhood. They have complete identities. They have things that they want, things that they don't want, things that they'll put up with, things that they won't put up with. They have the most mobile faces you can imagine. Donkeys have as many muscles around their faces at least as we do. Think of all the expressions we can make. And they can do all that and more. And if you live around them, they don't make the same expressions we do. Sometimes you'll see an out-and-out donkey smile, but you live around them and you watch their faces and you watch their actions, and you can. Oh, if these animals are in a good mood, life is good. They got 2 rounds of goodies. I got out the best hay I had for them tonight. Um, and like I said, the last thing they did was come in. They were out there loose. I had no power in the world to make those animals come in. They chose to. And we had to talk about it. We had to negotiate about it, but they chose to. If I get away with it and Abe's not lame in 2 days, this will have been entirely a good thing. And Claire is a real escape artist, but something else that she's a very intelligent animal, and you can't go wrong on really smart animals. So I'll deal with the escape artist. That's my job, and just let her be smart and try to aim that smart at needs we should. So that's not the story I was going to tell you, but it was an interesting evening, and I thought you might enjoy it. Thanks for coming along.